You're listening to Through It All, where stories come alive and faith finds its voice. Each episode, individuals who've encountered life's highs and lows will be heard, and through it all, they witness the undeniable faithfulness of God. This isn't just about sharing stories. It's about celebrating God's enduring love and transformative power of His grace. Welcome to Through It All. Well, thanks for tuning in and choosing Through It All. And I know that this episode will bless you, as all of them have. And today, my special guest is Marissa Smith. Marissa, thank you so much for coming today.
Oh, you're welcome.
And also, too, in the studio, back for the attack, Kathy Lois. And there's a reason that I have you two in here together, is that you're dear friends and you work together. And I think it will be fun. And also, too, it will be a blessing to have both of you here. And so we're going to talk about life. We're going to talk about all the things that are going on with you. And I know you kind of laughed about that, but you're a very special person to this church.
Thank you.
And so I looked up when you joined. Mm-hmm. Do you remember?
2016.
Really?
Yeah.
I have you as 17. How can we be off already?
Because it was, it might have been 17. Because it was, I stopped working at Beach Point in September, and it was the next class or whatever it was that I took. So between 16 and 17. But
so
yeah.
we'll call it 10 years.
Sure.
How's that?
Perfect.
And you've been such a servant. And what do you do for profession?
I'm the camp cook, I guess, chef at Camp Beach Point.
Okay, Camp Beach Point. Mm-hmm. And so we have been partakers of your special set of skills with providing incredible meals. So thank you. You've done just a great job with that. And also, too, Kathy, you guys got, what is it called?
The table.
The table,
yes.
yeah.
Marissa's she's one of the founders of the table ministry that we have here. So she is part of the leadership team, and she provides all the delicious food that we feed up to like 100 people every couple weeks here, and we love them and meet them. And Marissa is back busy in the kitchen, but then she also finds time to come out and sit with the families and hold the babies and
it's my favorite part.
Just bless them with her love that she has. Well,
thank you for serving.
Oh, you're welcome.
I mean, I think there's a lot of times where we can belong with something but not really invest in something. Mm-hmm. I can belong to this, and you're just an investor. So I love your heart, and I love the fact that you're taking a risk to be here today. As we talked about, it's not easy just to talk. And you said, I don't like to talk about myself. But like we said, we're going to talk about what God's doing in you. And I know that you're a special daughter to Him, and He loves you unbelievably. And so that is exciting to me. So, Marissa Smith, tell us a little bit about your upbringing. Who are you?
How far back do you want me to go?
As far as you want.
So I grew up in Orlando. Born and raised till I was 13.
Florida?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
In a Southern Baptist church. In church 3 times on Sunday and at least twice during the week. Mm-hmm. And then we moved up here for a job for my dad, and this is where my mom's family was, and we've just been here ever since.
Yeah. Are you, so you grew up in the church then?
Yeah, very much so.
When did you give your life to Christ?
I remember making a choice when I was 5, but my parents weren't quite sure or quite confident in my choice. So we waited till I was like 6 or 7 before I was baptized. But I remember making a choice at like 5.
Mm-hmm. You're like the second or third person that's told me they've made a choice for Christ. And I think sometimes as adults we go, I don't know about that. Well, it works if Christ is the one drawing a heart.
Right.
He said, let the little children come unto me, for such as theirs the kingdom of heaven. And He blesses them. You know, I think it's so important for us to trust that the Holy Spirit does work. He can do it at any age. And so
definitely.
You've shown the fruit of that just in your life and who you are and that kind of thing. So did you go to college or all over the place, or what did you do, culinary school?
So I was homeschooled. 1st and 2nd grade were in Christian school, and then the rest of it was homeschooled. So I graduated
Did
high
you
school.
like homeschool?
No.
Why not?
Honestly, because I didn't necessarily graduate high school. According to my mom, I graduated. Like if you asked her, she would say I graduated. If you ask me, I think I might have finished ninth grade. I started working full time at 16.
Really?
And never really quite stopped.
Pretty independent?
No, I was living at home, mostly taking care of my parents. My mom was sick for a lot of my high school years, so I learned how to cook at her bedside. And then my dad worked, but he wasn't really the best at keeping jobs. And to be completely honest, they weren't the best at making financial choices. So to make sure that my brother, because my sister moved out when I was about 16. So by the time Matt and I needed food, and I wanted to make sure that we could pay bills and stuff like that. So I was working full time and helping my parents with bills.
That's a lot of responsibility.
Yeah, it was. But it's what I needed to do, and I wanted to make sure that we kept a roof over our house, over our heads. So
for the listener, would it be fair for me to say that you took what you had to do, learn to cook, take care of your mother? Was your mother sick, you said?
Yeah, she spent a lot of time in bed. I never quite realized what it was. Still to this day, I don't really think I know what it was at the time. But I would start the meal downstairs in the kitchen, and if I had questions, you run upstairs and talk through it with Mom, and then go back downstairs and finish the meal.
Incredible.
So
it's always amazing to me how you learn, even Kathy, in your story, of how you just adapt. You know what I mean? And that's part of the reason we're doing this, is because we don't know everybody's story. Like I would have figured, oh, yeah, this is what I wanted to do. And no, it's kind of like I think for all of us in some ways, there's like, God is doing something. I mean, up on that wall, there's a picture that I drew in like 3rd or 4th grade that says, I want to be a minister. What? I don't even know if I knew Christ back then. You know, so does he have something in store? So
yeah, very much so.
Man, I'm super proud of you. Where you at in relationships and life and all that kind of stuff? Where you at?
As in
married, children?
No, not married, no children.
How old are you?
I'm 40. I'll be 45 in October. My brother lives with me, and his kids live with me, and I consider those my kids. They're my boys, but children of my own hasn't happened yet.
Okay. Yeah. I think a lot of people, I see you, and I kind of want to share, how you're coping with that of 41. Did you expect to be married by now?
Yeah. Growing up, it was definitely an expectation to get married in your 20s, like my mom did, and have kids and raise kids. I was going to be it was a joke in the family that my sister would be the full-time missionary, basically working somewhere with no kids and doing that type of thing, and I would be the one at home with marriage and lots of kids. And it literally is a swap. Megan has 5 kids and has been married for a while, and I just never did. And I've been in full-time ministry for most of my adult career. So.
Well, do you feel a lot of disappointment in that kind of thing or not?
Yes and no. Sometimes, mostly when I'm holding a baby and realize that I really want my own, but not disappointment in where my life has gone and what God has used me to do and the places that I've served.
Yeah. Kathy, what do you think?
First, I think that there are some men out there that are missing the queen bee here.
Yeah, I mean, just in the cooking alone.
Just in cooking alone, but just in who Marissa is. And I think that I know from our conversations in the past, I'm just in awe of you and your strength in who God created you to be. I know so many people push you and so many people try to set you up, and I will joke with you and say, girl, quit cutting your hair. I'm trying to find you a man. But you are who you are, and that is the part about Marissa that I love. But I think also maybe because my upbringing, I was the opposite of you. I was really wild, and I didn't know who God was, and I was looking for love in all the wrong places. That's a song. But your story, like when we talked, it just caught me so off guard that you've saved everything for that man that God has called into your life. And I just find that, like, it, I don't know, I can't even, like, comprehend. Like, we're talking like a kiss. Like, you've saved everything for that perfect man that God brings to you. And I think the part, that alone we can go into. But the other part is that you refuse to go looking for that man. And I find that really interesting, but so God honoring. And you say all the time, what do you say to me when I say, where are you going looking, are you going places to meet somebody? And you always say to me,
I say that if I'm supposed to get married, God will bring him to me. And I've looked, I've tried, I've done the dating apps, and my cousin did the dating apps for me, and it just doesn't, it never melds. The conversations never flush out. It's
here's
always
the question. Have you done Christian mingle?
Yeah, I tried.
Okay.
Farmer. Yeah. What's the one that has the farmers?
It's like farmers only or something.
Yeah, I remember seeing that.
No, never done that one either.
I had the Vissers on here. They're kind of country. And so, or who was it I was talking to? I can't remember what it was, one of the podcasts. And I was like, farmers.com. They're like, what? That's it? You're not even right. So, saving yourself for marriage, that's extremely rare in this modern world.
It is.
Why? Why are you?
Because I was raised to believe that sex and stuff like that is supposed to be for the marriage bed. And I also know that I'm a real emotional kind of person, and I feel like if I'm going to give one thing, I'm going to end up giving all of it. And and unless it's for life, and unless there's 2 rings on my finger, I don't feel like it's his right to have.
You had talked about your parents saying, she's going to be the first one to get married. Was that correct? And have the kids and stuff. How do they feel about you not being married? Do they give you a lot of advice and things of that nature? Or are they?
My dad, towards the end, did try to force the issue. He would, even from his hospital bed, he lived in a nursing home for almost 8 years before he passed. And he would had friends that came to visit him from one of the other churches and was like, you should meet. No, thanks, Dad. It's okay. My mom hasn't necessarily always been the biggest advocate for the marriage part of it. She just wanted the grandkids. And so my response to her probably wasn't as proper as it should have been, because she gave me a lot of crap for it, and so I gave her crap back. But she doesn't ask anymore. I'm the daughter that helps take care of her and get her through what she's going through, and she doesn't really question the single part of it anymore.
Do you tell me more about your faith and God gonna bring somebody to you? Are you okay if he doesn't?
Yeah, definitely.
How is that possible? I mean, and the reason I say that is because that's so counterintuitive to our culture. Do you know what I mean? I sit with people all the time, and they are extremely disappointed because their wildest dreams, or whatever those dreams are, okay? And that's a pretty common dream, I've had guests in here who said, they couldn't have children. And they were taught their whole life, you grow up, you get married, you have children.
Yep.
And like you even said, they didn't care what I had. I want grandkids, so all of that kind of stuff. So, anyways.
I think the reason I'm okay with it is because I know that it's in his best interest. And I've also, as much as I've grown up with the thought that I'm supposed to grow up and get married and have kids, that's the mentality that the church gives you. But I've also grown up listening to the stories of Paul and how he stayed single all of his life and was able to serve. And I've come to realize that there's a lot of things that I've done in my life and the ways that I've served and the way I've been a part of ministries that I wouldn't be able to do if I was married. And even right now, being married and helping with my brother and his kids, I don't know that it would necessarily work But
Is your brother divorced or something?
yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So he's divorced and living with me, but he's also on disability, so he doesn't have the ability to like just walk out there and get a job and take care of himself. So God's given me the ability just to serve and love on my brother and nephews in a way that it's not what any of us expected, and it's not what he wanted, what Matthew wants, but I've just looked at it as a way of serving and loving on him in a way that I wouldn't be able to if I was married and had my own kids, because the space and the ability wouldn't be there.
But you don't have any. See, this is the human part of me that I'll bring out because I'm mean. She's not as mean as me. Like, do you don't get angry at God that you've been the caretaker, or let's call it in marriage we're called to be the helpmate of each other, and I feel sometimes like you're the helpmate for your family, like you're the helpmate for your
that's a good way to put
growing up family, and then now you're the helpmate for your brother still as a grown adult with his family.
Yep.
And
the helpmate with my mother with the whole
Yes.
dementia end of things. Yeah.
You're there helping. You're still that same role as you were as that 16-year-old girl, and you're not upset or bitter about that to God.
Right now, I'm not.
Right. But you've had seasons
There's
where
definitely been seasons of like, okay, like why? Like, am I not good enough? Am I not pretty enough? Like, there's always those seasons in life of like, what did I do wrong? I must have done something wrong, because that's why I'm not.
right.
And I'm just at this point, I'm not there, and it might come back. Like,
Right,
we're only
right.
human, right? But right now, looking where I'm at and what I'm doing and how God's using me, like, I'm okay with it. Like, and I pray that it stays that way.
That you're going to
but-
be okay with it. Or
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I've always wanted to get married. I want to have my own kids. Like, I've looked at foster. I've looked at all of it. It's never been the right timing. It's never worked out well. And so at this point, this is where I'm at. And I have to believe, I choose to believe that this is God's plan and that he has my best interest at heart. Sorry, I'm a teary person.
I love it. I love it.
And that, like, if it's supposed to change, then he's going to make it painfully obvious, which is why, like, I have a hard time going on the apps, because, like, I feel like it's me stepping out of line of where God's taking me right now. Like, and if it means that, like, I'm stepping away from what the plan is I'm in right now, then that is what it is. And if I'm supposed to be married, I really believe that God will just bring that person here.
I know, she's so faithful.
No, you truly are.
I mean, I
Right, but I feel like I've gotten to a point in life where I can't be anything else. I've watched family members who have family members pass and they don't have God in their life, and the end result is hard to watch. And I have to believe, I have to choose the fact that, like, he has my best interest at heart, and he has, like, I am his beloved, and he loves me no matter what I do. And at this point, like, I have to choose. I have to follow, because, like, he's the only reason I'm where I'm at now, doing what I'm doing.
Right. And you do. It's like when you have a teacher as a parent, when your kids have a single teacher, you're like, yes, that teacher is going to love my child so well. And then as soon as that teacher gets married and has her own kid, it's like, well, I don't want that lady. I don't want her. She's terrible. But, like, for you, I feel like you're very open and loving no matter what you're doing in your like, I just see you on a Sunday morning when there's a fussy baby. Where's Marissa? Like, you have the gift that everybody wants in their life. Like, I always joke, if I could have Marissa in my spare bedroom, I would, because she takes care of the grouchy grandbabies, and she also cooks like no other. But, like, the fact that you're at peace with that is just, that's the part of you that I'm like, what? And there'll be times, so we'll be straight truthful. There are times you come in and you said you're very emotional and you feel big. You know, when something is wrong, you feel. Your mom, let's talk there for a moment. She still is alive, living in Holland by herself. You're her caretaker. So you supply the grocery runs, you supply.
She's diagnosed with a Lewy body dementia, which, if you know what that means, it's not an easy road that we're going to be stepping into, and we're already there. Like, the memory and the reasoning and the logic are no longer prevalent in my mother's brain. And so that in itself is hard. And so, like, yesterday was one of those days where I called my sister, who's in a different state, and was like, I just need to vent and verbalize how much my mother is Not my mother.
Yeah.
But she's moving into an apartment, and I have to get her moved before camp starts, and it's a whole big thing, but it's going to happen. So.
And you're not just at camp, like you're coming back to Camp Beach Point, right?
Yep.
Because you were at the Gospel Mission in Holland for a while.
So I had a couple of jobs in between, but 2016, when I was able to finally like come to the classes and join at North Point, was when I had left Beach Point. Because at that point we were doing a lot of retreats and stuff on Sunday, and so I didn't always make it to church because of that.
Right. And then...
So you chose...
So God moved me on from Beach Point to another ministry in Zealand.
But you chose to leave that because of Sundays?
Mm-hmm.
No, I chose to leave that because, I mean, I'm not even sure I could give you a reason right now. I chose to leave because that's where God was leading. Like they felt it too, and the fact that like I needed to move on. Like as looking back on it, growth needed to happen on my end, and it wasn't going to happen at Beach Point because I was comfortable. It was no longer a ministry. It was no longer something I was. I was still enjoying it and still liking it, but it was, I don't know, there's just something that needed to change, and part of that was me, and part of that was just the location of where I was serving.
Mm-hmm. What's your relationship like with God? Like, how do you keep this type of, like, there's many people that will listen to this, okay? And so, unfortunately, if you're 41 or whatever, and the world goes, what's
45.
up? Or
45.
45? I thought you said 41.
No, I'll be 45 in October.
She's old.
Truth. It's true.
But, the expectations. It's like when someone's sick or someone's hurting or sometimes we just don't, we say dumb things. And I'm sure you've probably heard dumb things.
Yep.
What are some of the dumb things you've heard?
I should have written them down every time you come in that door.
You don't have to go there. But.
Dumb things as far as like singleness.
Yeah.
The dumb things are, well, you're not trying hard enough.
Yeah.
Or you need to change your personality. I had somebody tell me that I was too loud and I would never get married if I stayed as loud as I was. I kind of laughed and walked away.
Was it a loud laugh?
I have a very loud laugh, and I freely admit it and freely acknowledge it. It's most of the time people are like, "Oh my gosh, I knew you were here. I could hear you across the church."
There you go.
Not surprised. I just have a loud personality, and I.
And do you take those?
No.
How do you push them away? Like not the person.
Most
you
of
know
the
what I'm
time,
saying?
how do I push the voices?
Yeah, because it would seem like to me, like one of the things that I struggle with, especially as a recovering people pleaser, is I really, really, really care what people think. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
And like I'm looking at you and I'm going, this girl has faith. You're persevering. You're going through. You're persistent. You're trusting God. I mean, these are all unbelievable gifts that you bring to the table. And then when you hear things like that, are you kind of tough on the outside, or you because you're emotional and yet you laugh and walk away? Tell me about that.
I think most of the time, to their face, it's a laugh and walk away, and then the people pleasing kind of like steps in, and you're like, were they right? Like, do I need to change something? And then it's one of those things of like, this is the way it's always been. This is the way God created me to be, and I have to remind myself that like, He knew exactly who I was and exactly what I was going to be and exactly what I was going to sound like before He even like created. And so it's just that reminder for me. It's just that reminder of I am fearfully and wonderfully made. And
Amen.
I struggled with it a lot when I was at camp before I left camp, and I came up with, I don't know where it came from, probably from somebody else, but basically it comes down to the fact that He created me on purpose for His purpose. Because like He doesn't make mistakes. So like as loud as obnoxious as I am or can be, like there's a part of me and there's a part of that He created. And so I just kind of think about it, pray about it, and then most of the time just let it go.
Yeah.
And sometimes pick it back up and bring it back home with me. But I do my best to just think about it, pray through it, and then
So
let it go.
before Kathy asks you a question, I want to finish up. How, because I started to ask you, how do you maintain that level of faith? What does Marissa do? Because you said I'm his child. I mean, you said some very, very strong things that I think all of us would say we know, but maybe rarely embrace. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
we know these things to be true. We know that God loves us, but I don't feel loved sometimes. Or we know, how does Marissa keep stable with all that's going on?
I would attribute it to a couple of things. The community that I've worked really hard to build around me between camp and church specifically, and then just other people in my life that have either started at camp and they're somewhere else, but like the relationships that I've built, and the community that I'm in, that I've worked really hard to be a part of and to continue to be a part of, and then just it feels like a constant conversation of in the car or
To God.
of, I don't feel like I'm any smarter or any better or anything than anybody else. I just know that that there's been enough and I've watched enough and paid attention enough to other people to know that the constant conversation and the community and church and the things that I have to keep in my life that allow me to be or to feel like I have that type of faith. Because I don't necessarily feel like I have that type of faith. I feel like I have a faith just enough to get me through.
Well, I always say this: it's not about emotion; it's about devotion. Because emotions can go like this. Just like Kathy said, some days you come in and you're just a wreck, and it can be the small things that trigger. And I think you've shared something very, very important that everyone listening to this needs to understand is that it's not a Sunday only, couple friends a week kind of faith that God's calling us to. And I think sometimes we spend so much time practicing faith, but we need to practice His presence. There was a book I read by Brother Lawrence. He was talking about prayer, and every time he would do this, he would realign his life. It sounds like you align your life while you're driving, is that your main prayer spot? Yeah,
well, I used to when I lived in Allegan and worked in Holland, those 30 minutes to Holland back and to and back were times of listening to my Bible on my my phone app, and just I don't even know what the word is, just reacclimating myself to the fact that I'm stepping into a job. And towards the end, it was to a job that I wasn't really enjoying, but it was still where I was supposed to be. And so then I had to that constant conversation of okay, Jesus, this is where you've called me to. Give me the ability to do what I'm called to do and to serve the way that I need to with the right heart attitude. Mm-hmm. And so then that conversation and that acknowledgement of the fact that I am useless without Him.
Good word.
So.
Yeah, that's a hard one for us to understand. That we basically, I think sometimes people, they need God when they need something, but that's not really needing God. That's kind of the genie in the bottle.
Right.
I got something going down. It's a big test, or it's this or that, or I've got a career change. Where are you at, God? And I think what's impressive to me about your faith is that you're recognizing that it's at my work. It's when I take care of my mom. Because going and getting groceries and driving to Holland, when I went to seminary in Holland, was it M89?
Mm-hmm. No, it's M40.
M40, that's it.
It's awful.
Yeah. And then you get there and, nothing against Holland. Don't get me wrong.
I love Holland. It serves its purpose. But that 30-minute drive, the only saving grace was the fact that it gave me the time to specifically spend either quiet and just listening, which happened a lot because my brain is a hot mess, or just listening to the word or playing music as loud as I can so that when I sing it, the people next to me don't hear me, they hear the music.
Nice. Are you, do you feel like God spoke to you during those times? Do you feel like, you know how sometimes we go through the motions and we're like still wondering where God's at? Do you feel his presence?
I don't know that I would say I feel his presence, but I definitely feel his peace. That feeling of like taking a deep breath and knowing that like that this is his job, not mine. And that this is what he's called me to at this time. Like, it didn't last as long as I would have hoped, but it served its purpose for the time. And I pray that he used me there while I was there. But I don't necessarily feel like I felt him, but I felt like the effects of him.
Well, he's the Prince of Peace.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah,
not going to theologically argue you know, but I think that would be...
I pray for that all the time, because it's one of those things of like stepping into the situation of taking that deep breath and acknowledging the fact that like I'm here for his benefit, not mine. So.
Quite amazing.
Thank you.
I mean, did you feel his presence? I think sometimes in life, when you've had like a life-altering event,
yes,
you feel presence more than ever. Like, that's when I feel God's presence. Like, it hits me in the face. Like, okay, there you are. So you've had a life-altering.
There's definitely been times in life where it's like, oh my goodness, that was nothing other than the presence of God or the Spirit of God taking over, or conversations where I was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to say in this situation. And then you walk out of the situation and you're like, what did I just say? And I have no idea what I said. But I know that what I said was ordained by him, because he's the one that said it, not me.
Right. So he speaks through you. And like in your car accident, like that was a great, I mean, that at that moment, how did you not feel God's provision and protection?
Looking at the car and looking at the situation, and what I walked away with was nothing other than God literally putting his hand on me in the car and keeping me safe. It's the only way to look at it.
Tell us about that. When did that happen?
July 19th of 2020. I left church, and I was on my way to the outlet malls in wherever that is. Byron Center, yep. And it was downpouring. I mean, just a deluge is what I call it. And I was going down 131, and I honestly thought it was my fault, because I felt like my car was hydroplaning. I was like, oh, I know my tires aren't. And I was on the phone with a friend, like, and she heard me say, I'm not going to make it there. Like, she knew, like, I knew that I wasn't going to make it to our meeting because I was meeting up with her. And I bumper boated is what I call it, like, and like just on the side railing. I had gone around somebody else to pass them and was doing the speed limit, but like I thought I had hydroplaned, and so then I was literally like bumping on the side railing that was wires, not the hard. And I woke up to paramedics putting a neck brace on my neck and sliding a backboard behind me and pulling me up out of the car. I don't remember anything. Still to this day, don't remember anything after that, or before that, or after that.
Did they tell you what happened?
Yes, there was actually a cop that was sitting right there and watched the whole thing as I was getting into the left lane to pass and was doing the speed limit and did everything right. There was a guy that was coming up behind me and was doing 90 and tried to squeeze in between me and the other car that I was passing.
Oh, no.
And hit my back end. And him hitting my back end is what sent me spinning. I thought it was my fault. I thought it was my tires. And it was him. So the cop, they called the police. My friend actually drove up and found me, took pictures. So I have pictures of the car if you want to see them later. But they had to take the doors off and the roof off to get to me, because the car had, instead of like crumpling this way like most cars do, it crumpled this way. And so
you're in the studio here pushing front to back, right, and so it crumpled.
It crumpled side to
bottom,
side,
side to side.
Like, okay, literally instead of like an accordion, right, where it goes squish, it wrapped around me. Like they couldn't get my legs out from underneath the steering wheel because the steering wheel hole, or wherever you put your legs, had rolled into a tighter roll. And I was literally in there, and they had to pull me up and out off the back end.
Doesn't help that you're how tall?
6'1".
So we're not taking like a little 5-foot lady.
No, and I was in a much smaller car than what I drive now. But the cop said, because he followed me into the hospital and my brother met up with me there, but he said he expected to walk up to the car and find a body. They had no reason whatsoever to find somebody alive. And I walked away with a pretty bad concussion and 2 broken ribs. And I ended up having shoulder surgery in 21, but that wasn't something we knew about at the time. So fairly...
That's incredible protection.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Incredible protection. I should not have walked away from it.
That's something. What did you feel when you found out it wasn't your fault?
Unbelievable relief.
Yeah.
Because I knew, like, I remember the accident, I remember it happening, and I remember, like, thinking I just killed somebody because of my tires or because of what happened. And so nobody else got hurt. The guy that was driving the car that hit me, like, he ended up going off into the ditch, and so he ended up going to the emergency room to get checked out, but there wasn't really anything wrong. I was the only one that ended up, like, hurt. Everybody else behind us, like, was able to stop well enough that there was nobody else. And so the relief of, like, knowing it wasn't my fault and the blessing of knowing that, like, nobody else got hurt. Like, I even hurt me any day of the week, as long as nobody else gets hurt as well.
You just said something. You have probably one of the most gifted, I want to say you are one of the most naturally gifted people to care for others and about others. So your whole story, as I'm listening to you,
Yeah.
am I wrong here?
No, you're right.
All right, so
She's an empath. I also just
what?
she's an empath. You know, like someone that's empathetic.
Oh,
she's
an
like
emp.
she's like the queen.
That's what we call my daughter, Emily. I'm like, what? Yeah, emp. So you're caring for your parents as a young child. You're caring for your brother and his children. Mm-hmm. You're caring for your mother. And then you get in an accident. And what do you care about?
The people around me.
Yeah. Which is an incredible gift that's driven from, I believe, that is, it's missing in so many people. Selfishness. You don't seem selfish to me, or are you?
Oh, I'm definitely selfish. I mean, I'm
What are you
human.
selfish about? See, busted.
Time spent, like, the older I've gotten, the more, like, particular about, like, quiet time and time, like, not with people. Like, I've always been I call it introverted extrovert. Like, if I'm with you, then it's great, whatever, but I don't recharge by being with people. I recharge by being at home alone type situation. And as a young adult, I didn't take care of myself well. And so as I've gotten older, like, I've been very selfish with, like...
But that's not
See, that's,
selfish.
yeah,
That's not
go
selfish.
ahead. You
Can I
take
say
the reins.
Because this is not selfish. That's
I mean, that feels selfish.
That's self-control, girl. That's learning
called
what you need. It's health.
maturity.
Yeah, that's what you need. Selfish would be like, I refuse to give up. Okay, you're not selfish. That's the hard part. I can't pick on you because, I mean, you live...
I mean, there has to be. Not has to be, but, like, I'm human, so it's not
If
like
you have M&Ms, you can't have them because you're allergic.
Nope.
If you have some special snack in your cupboard...
There are specific snacks in my cupboard that nobody else is allowed to touch.
Okay,
Yes.
so, like, if your boys got into your cupboard, would you lose your junk over that?
No.
Okay, I would cut their heads off. I would get out of my
Let me write down
snacks.
the time to edit this. 39.
I wouldn't really cut their
14,
heads off, but
cut Kathy.
I'm just saying, like, I don't think, like, if I were to pick on you for one thing that, like, money's tight, right? Like,
Yeah.
let's say this woman right here lives paycheck to paycheck because her paychecks never go to herself.
They go to my. They go to a roof over my house.
The roof over your house, but you also support your family with your paychecks still.
Yes, and then there was a pay cut when I switched.
When you switched jobs, you took another, which is another step in trusting God will provide for you. But I can't even say, like, you have your nails done. you have always have your nails done.
Yep.
But I can't even point that as selfish because that's the only thing you do for yourself.
No,
So
but I have to say is that was one of those things that, like, as I was looking at my budget from switching from the mission to camp, was my hair and nails were going to be something that I cut back on. And God has always been very gracious and good to me. And a friend of mine won't let me. So every month she gives me money for a haircut and to get my nails done, which is the only reason I have them right now.
Yeah. What color is your hair? Like, I want to know.
Like, naturally?
No, like, well, I guess we can go there, but what
So
color
most
is
of
it
the time,
now?
naturally, it's a dark brown.
Okay.
I call it a mousy brown because it's just kind of dull and whatever. This is
Did you say mousy?
yeah.
Okay. I don't. That's why Kathy's in here. She's going to help me debrief.
but this is like a purplish maroon color tinge. We did purple. It doesn't last very long. I did red. It doesn't last very long. And most of the time it's in a hat. So
So the maroon. What's it? What? Why that? Is it just like?
because I can.
Yeah.
And I mean, I would go blue and I would go green, but like my hairdresser won't let me. And then B, it fades faster than this does. So this is what we go with. And it's fun. It's just
I don't think I could ever recognize you if you just had mouse brown.
Yeah.
Not just
Or
brown.
long hair. She used to have long hair when she was little.
so I grew up Southern Baptist, right? Well, I wasn't allowed to cut my hair.
What?
That was my dad's preference. And I didn't own a pair of jeans until I was 13 when we moved up to Michigan and had our first winter. And my mom was like, no, we're buying pants. So, no, I turned 18 and slowly cut it off.
You had that at Catholic school, didn't you? Mm-hmm. You guys had to wear skirts, right?
Yeah, we were culottes. Then Hackett turned into like you could wear jeans on Fridays.
Oh, no.
Scandalous.
We grew up in skirts and culottes my whole childhood.
Did you like your childhood?
For the most part, I would say yes. I think I liked it better when we lived in Florida. Only for the fact that my dad was different in Florida than when we moved up to Michigan.
What do you mean by that?
In Florida, like, my dad drove dump truck. Like, he was an asphalt driver. And there's always road construction in Florida. And it's year round as opposed to Michigan. But like, I remember waking up and getting up early and coming out and finding him at the dining room table with his Bible open and just spending time in the Word, praying and reading his Word, reading the Bible before he went to work. Or when he got home, like if he didn't do it before he went to work. And those are some of the fondest memories I have of my dad. And then we moved up to Michigan, and we moved up for a job. But when we got up here, the job had been given to somebody else. And so that started the long streak of him unable to keep a job, basically. And there were other aspects to it, but I feel like that was one of those detrimental things that just started the spiral. And so then, like, I don't know if he lost confidence in God or if he lost confidence in himself or what happened, but the Bible at the dining room table stopped. He changed personalities a little bit from what I remember. Just not the same. I mean, he was still loving, still one of my biggest cheerleaders growing up, playing ball and all that kind of jazz, but different.
Were you sporty?
Basketball only. I tried volleyball when we moved up to Michigan and realized I was too short.
What?
Yeah. I stepped into an AAU or whatever league.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was the only one I could do as a homeschooler. And I was short.
That's 6'1".
At 6'1".
That's crazy. Welcome to the Dutch world.
Yeah, it was crazy. But I played basketball. I was on the varsity team from the time I was like 13 till the time I graduated.
Do you like play pickup basketball? Like, do you go to
No. I mean, I would if I could find a place to do it, but...
I mean, maybe that's where we could find you a husband. She needs friends like me.
Sure.
I'm always thinking.
Sure.
So, Are any of those previous comments you made from Kathy Lois? I just want to know.
Oh, no, she tries all the time. Have you?
Yeah.
No.
Have you tried pickleball?
No, I've never played.
She's supposed to play though. See, once my knee gets better, I'm bringing her.
Apparently, we're gonna learn.
Her and Larry are super into pickleball now.
So the mission does a pickleball tournament every year to raise funds. I've never gone.
Really?
I never played tennis. I tried softball, and I cannot connect the bat to the ball. Like that hand-eye coordination, it just
It's not there.
It's not there.
Maybe I don't want you to come play pickleball. Do you take your craft? We were just talking about you this morning. Do you think of yourself as an artist?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With food.
Yeah.
That's the only way I'm artsy.
We were just talking.
No. You got
The hair. The hair.
Right. Well, my mom is that crafter. Like she sews and my grandmother like the family is full of like people that do like handcrafts and like that type of thing. And I've picked up a few. There's still a couple that I do every once in a while, but anytime I feel like I need to like express something, it's typically in food.
Cooking. Have you ever had? I'm gonna go because I'm honing in on this because I'm obsessed with you. So, have you ever had a boyfriend?
No. I call it super single because I've never been on a date and I've never had a boyfriend.
That is just fascinating to me.
No, it's wonderful.
No, I'm saying that in
it says.
I look at it that way now.
No, yeah.
It's hard. That's why I'm saying she can give hope to so many. If all girls could be like this till God brings that person. And like, how did you know? So here's a question for you. Have you ever sat back and thought, am I sure am I questioning how God created me? Or you've always been perfectly comfortable where you are?
I've never so I was 6 foot by the time I was 12.
Wow.
So my nickname in elementary school at the church that we went to was Jolly Green Giant.
Oh.
So I've never
That's why you don't like frozen green beans.
So being comfortable with who and what I am has taken time.
Okay.
And a lot of reminding myself that God created me this way for a reason.
But you carry yourself in such a way so people that can't visually see you, that maybe just listen online and don't know you, you carry yourself with such confidence and strength, I love.
I would attribute that to my mom and my grandmother. Because I remember being 12 and hunching, walking hunched and sitting hunched and trying to hide my height because it was embarrassing at the time.
Right.
And my grandmother would walk up behind me and literally put her knuckle in the middle of my back, and so you don't have an option. You stand up straight. And then she would quote Psalms 139, the 14 through 16 or whatever it is, I can't remember, but the fearfully and wonderfully made,
13, 14.
Yeah. This is, God doesn't make mistakes. Don't accuse him of it. And she would literally, and not nicely.
No, but I love the message. Maybe she didn't have to be so rough with her finger, but.
Right. Well, and then as I got older, I realized the fact that I don't care. So I'm 6'1", but I still wear the heels.
I was gonna say I cannot wear heels if you paid me.
My big hair,
No, you show up at church with these heels, and I look at you and you sit next to me. I'm like, girl, I could not even walk to the restroom in those shoes. They're tall, big shoes, and you just.
It's been that way. Well, I think when I was 12, back in the day, there was no such thing as a flat. We couldn't find flats, so I grew up at 12 and 13 wearing heels to church, and we were at church a lot.
Do you think there's an epidemic going on now with people in identity?
Yes, very much so.
Especially, that's what I'm hopeful for this.
Yes.
Through it all, lots and lots of stuff. I think Kathy even came up with a name. I can't remember. But you did?
I did.
Credit. So I keep forgetting that. So
it's okay. You can have
you could share that at my funeral, just to let everybody know. But she has a mind that's incredible, just gifted, and seeing things and working with a lot of people that are, I work with this a lot, and I'm not even talking about here. I'm talking about how we all just, if this would have been different, if this would have been, like, I'm 5'6", so I'm pretty sure you could dunk on me, okay? Maybe not, but do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But, like, so as a man, I would wear, not, I didn't wear high heels, but
Oh no, you didn't put lifts in your shoes, did you?
no, I did it. But I remember that's like the one thing, like when people mess with me or something, they're like, yeah, man, they'll just say stupid stuff. And, over all the years, you hear this over and over. And I think so many people, and this is what's so impressive about you, is you could, say, oh, I'm too tall. Or I'm this. Or those are easily said by many, many people. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, well, God doesn't make junk. We just keep telling ourselves that. But today, I feel like there's a huge... do you think it has to do with media, or what do you think it has to do with, like, the image thing going on right now? I'm not asking you to be an expert, but give me your 2 cents.
I feel like the media has a lot to do with it, but I also feel like I feel like we're just not teaching in schools or in another way, like the fact that it's okay to be different. Mm-hmm. Like, we're taught through schools, and we're taught through social media and everything that you need to be the same. Yeah. Unless you're this, you're not right. And, like, I grew up knowing I was different, and knowing I was not only just different in height, but, like, different in my beliefs, different in the way I looked, different in the way that I behaved. And I had to come to terms that was okay.
I think a lot of parents are scared that they're not going to fit in. It's the struggle with the Christian faith.
Yep.
Won't you agree? Mm-hmm. Like a lot of people are just like, well, if we live for Jesus, which mm-hmm. you are.
Trying.
Yeah, thank you. We all are trying. But if you're attempting to live for Jesus, let's call it, in this world, mm-hmm. Scripture tells us, hey, in this world you're going to have trouble. You're going to have struggle. You're going to be different. And all my life in the world, but not of it. And this, and you've heard all that too, because I grew up Baptist.
Yep.
And so I think you're a wonderful example of someone who's okay with what God made, and that is I'm giving you mm-hmm. great praise.
Thank you.
Because the world needs more Marissas. Mm-hmm. They really do. I mean, the world needs someone who says, yeah, I need the 30 minutes to pray. And yeah, I'm okay with this. And then I think the Lord has shown you favor in many ways that maybe other people won't, where you could probably be in a marriage and be unhappy and just,
yeah, definitely
gave up and said, I'll find some bum, and how many people do that?
Right.
Like the desire to be what the world tells you to be is so great in our society now that we're willing to do anything, make poor choices. I mean, like spousal choices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, your standards.
Yeah, your standards get lowered, and the next thing you know, you have high standards for yourself, don't you?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I try to.
Are they biblical or are they Marissa? Or are they as a combo?
I'd like to think that they're biblical and probably some Marissa.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But you truly see yourself, and that's the part, like, when I think of you as a single woman, you see yourself. We can say it. I can say I'm God's daughter. but I look in the mirror and I'll say, oh, my nose is too big, or oh, I need to lose 10 pounds, or I don't see myself sometimes. I still work really hard at seeing myself as God sees me, but you truly hear what God says and you take that and you're expecting that in your future partner, your future. And until God brings that person to you that sees you as God wants him to see you, you don't have time for it. And that's beautiful, and it's protection for yourself.
Yeah.
But you're being obedient to how God knit you together.
Right.
And that is something that's so hard because culture doesn't want that. Society doesn't want that. They want you to be married and have kids. Forget that your husband is out, doing whatever, and you have kids and you're alone and lonely. You know better. You know God has, if he has someone out there, he will bring him. And that, I think young people don't have that anymore. I think we've lost that desire.
Well, you said something that I just wrote it down because I was like, I want to bring us back to this. You said, I choose to believe. Do you remember saying that? Mm-hmm. I'm choosing this day, as Joshua said, for me and my house will serve the Lord.
Right.
We're going to serve him. Now, your house may go do what you want to do, and you can do this.
Yep.
So you are choosing to believe. How does someone choose to believe? Loaded question.
Mm-hmm. Very loaded question.
How do you choose to believe?
Honestly, I think it's experience in the fact that, like, I know what I've watched, like, for my own life, like, I know what it was like to, like, not to walk away, but, like, not to be as close or as following as much as I should have been when I was in college. Mm-hmm. Like, I know what that felt like. I know what that looked like. And so at that point, like, I chose to work at a job. At that point, it was Beach Point. I chose to work at a job that I knew would force me and put me out of my comfort zone and force me back into relying on Christ. Mm-hmm. And so choosing what's different, because it's not because it's easier, not because it's different, but choosing because it's what's right for me, mm-hmm. is what makes it to where, like, I don't know, But
what I hear you saying is what's right for you is what God says is right for you. And that's the purity that you carry. That's the mm-hmm. the hope and the trust and all of those things that you have, which, because there's all kinds of choices. We make choices every day. Every day. And I think that's something that I want people to hear, is that we choose every single day.
Every day.
To bring our attitude or to surrender, to be arrogant or humble. And those are constant moment by moment choices. Mm-hmm. And then there's the big overarching choices. I choose to be okay with me. I choose to be okay. Now, we can't look at sin and be like, I'm cool with it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Which I don't see you doing. But when God puts his finger on something, we have to make a choice to say, okay, as Kathy taught me a long time ago, what if it's true?
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
What if it's true that I'm loud or I'm this? Yep. Like you actually mentioned that, I think. So, I mean, that's something that I see is a gift in you as well. Are you stubborn?
A little bit.
Yeah. A little bit or a lot of it?
Probably a lot of it.
Yeah. It's okay to be stubborn when it comes to faith. I'm not going to move. I'm not going to.
Yeah, I feel like that's what's gotten me to 44 and still single and still okay with it, is because I'm stubborn in the fact that, like...
Okay, so I got to clear this up. Are you 41, 45, or 44?
I'm 44 right now, and will be turning 45.
Why is
45.
The girl on my left here is calling you 45?
Because I said I will be turning 45 in October.
Why do I not hear this? I have headphones on.
I don't know.
Okay.
Because you choose not to?
Yeah. Okay, let me run this thing, all right? I'm joking, but... So, what would you tell someone who's out there single, mm-hmm. maybe feeling like they've been neglected by God, or he's, like you said, I must have done something wrong, or those are the periods of your
Those are
life
the thoughts that come through.
that come through, that I must not be good enough. What would you tell someone who's maybe in that spot right now? What would you encourage them with?
I would encourage them to find a community within their church, within whatever that looks like. My community is North Point. Like, I started because of the Bible study with Tracy, and it just kind of continued from there. But like, I have questions, or I have concerns, or did I do this wrong? And like, there has to be somebody that you can talk to about that. Like, to keep the stubbornness and to keep the I choose, there has to be somebody that can help and redirect type situation.
Like a mentor type figure.
Do you have accountability?
Not officially. Tracy's still one of those people that I go to, and she holds me accountable on the regular.
The things you're choosing to change, or
Right.
hey, this needs
on
to
the conversations, or the choices I'm making attitude-wise, or even like just health-wise, like just the stuff that we talk about. She's the one that I go to.
Okay. Yeah, it's amazing how God gives us. I think everyone. Like, are you a verbal processor?
Probably. I don't think I've ever like determined one way or the other, but
She doesn't like to verbal. I would say that she holds it in, but then it comes out.
Yeah,
Like,
and then I don't have an option.
yeah.
Because Kathy's another one that I use as a, oh my gosh, I just have to verbalize this is what's happening.
So that's a verbal processor.
Yeah.
She refuses it, but then it comes out. Then
A stubborn
stubborn
verbal processor.
Yeah, I've seen you before, or before cooking some days, and I'm like, is she gonna be okay? So, but what a gift. So you're telling people. So, and can I paraphrase this? Kind of synopsis it a little bit. You're saying you need people around you that are speaking life into you,
Right, believers that have the same belief that you have, that have the same choices that you have. Find a church and find a community that will direct you back.
Right. You feel like you belong here?
Yes.
I think so.
Yes.
I mean, you're a gift to this place.
Everybody knows Marissa here.
Not everybody, but I'm okay with that too.
Mad skills. Mad skills. Yeah, and what else? Somebody's out there kind of just, man, I don't know what to do. Community, what else?
I mean, I think it comes back to that choosing. I choose to be okay with who and what God's made me. I choose to be okay with the fact that I'm single.
Do you ever say that out loud?
Yes. Often.
Yeah.
I would rather be single and serving and doing what I'm supposed to be doing than in a marriage or in a relationship where it's not the right relationship and where the guy is preventing me from doing what I feel like God's called me to.
Wow.
I can't serve. I mean, I can still serve, but I feel like I can serve better, and I can give more time, and I can give more energy to the fact that to the place that God has called me to serve.
Does serving fill you?
Yes. Feeding people fills me.
Fills us.
It literally makes my heart happy to see people eating and to enjoying it, and to knowing that that their day was made better just because they ate something.
Well, once again, you're a giver. There's people that take all the time, and there's people that give all the time. I would say the majority of your life is giving of your time, treasure, and talent to other people. And that is a very unique, I mean, I praise God for that in you, you know. Not speaking in the physical, I'm speaking in the spiritual, that God has given you some gifts that I believe every believer should attempt to have in their life. And he's poured out a lot on you. And what an incredible thought for anyone who's listening who maybe's in something, a relationship that they shouldn't be in. Are you making the right choices? And the scary part about that is I think many people would rather I don't want to get too deep on this, but be in the wrong thing, but still have someone. Do you know what?
Because it's easier to have someone than to not.
Yeah, and so that way I've fixed this thing that society and the world and everyone says about me. So I present myself as fake. You seem very authentic.
I try to be. I don't like the people that are fake to my face, or even the ones that aren't fake to my face. I mean, I strive to be that person that you get what you see. Like, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to, as polite as possible, but I'm going to be honest. Like, and I would want and expect the same thing from you. Like,
Do you love people?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's incredible so the Bible says, love God and love your neighbor. Sounds like you got those going pretty good. It's virtually impossible, I think, to love God by yourself. I mean, you can. Don't get me wrong. We can worship by ourselves. We can pray by ourselves and things like that. But God formed us to be in community.
Yeah.
And it sounds like you found a great place here. How did you find this place?
That's not mine.
It's my phone. How is my phone going off? I turned it off.
It's your computer.
I found North Point because I was going to Bible study with Amy D. Wonder and Tracy and Beth Van Dyke and all these lovely women. And it was frustrating.
Those are OGs.
Those were OGs,
Yeah.
yes. And so we were going to Bible study, and like our Bible study was aligning with what Pastor Jason was speaking at the time, right? With whatever you were speaking, our Bible study was literally walking right beside it. And I kept teasing Tracy and the girls about the fact that like Tracy was talking with you and basing our Bible studies on what you were going to be speaking. It was this huge joke that we had, and they were like, no, we don't do that. Like, Tracy's like, I don't have that much pull. And I was like, there's no way. But literally week after week after week, Beth would say something about how like what you had spoken about, like touched on what we were studying and vice versa. And so we finally had a break at Beach Point at one point. I don't even know what year it was. And I needed a home church. I had moved to Allegan and was driving back to Grand Rapids when the time allowed. But the time less and less allowed to go to Grand Rapids, so I wanted a home church that was Allegan, Plainwell based. And so the girls were like, you should try North Point. And I was like, okay, we'll try this. So I had a free Sunday. I didn't have any retreat group that weekend. So I got dressed. And I was late, like usual. So I walked in the back, and I'm standing in the back. I don't know if you remember this, but I was standing in the back waiting for everybody else to stand up to like sing so I could go find a spot. And this shorter gentleman, no idea who he was, walked up and was like, made a comment about my shoes because they were like blue suede 4-inch stilettos. And my hair was big and red at the time, and like made some not inappropriate comment, just a comment. And I was like, dude, this guy is weird. Like, what do they let him do up here? And it was you.
Tell me it wasn't me.
It was you. And I was like, oh my. And then you literally walked up and like, we all sat down and you stood up front and preached. And I was like, that fits. It wasn't bad, I promise.
Okay, because
it wasn't bad.
I'm about ready to edit this right on out of here. No,
but that's how I found North Point.
Did I tell you I liked your shoes or something like that? Okay, let's get that straight.
Like it wasn't bad comments. No, none of it was bad comments. I've just never had a perfect stranger walk up and make a comment about my hair and shoes. It wasn't bad. You can take this out. That's fine.
No, we'll leave it. So I don't know. Whenever someone walks in here, you're the king of this, Kathy, or queen. But when I see someone, like I want them to know they're here. Do you know what I mean? Like they're
seen.
Yeah, I mean you teach this to every one of your greeters. I'm like we. So for me, it's never really, hey, I want to make a big deal. It's just, I want you to know, I got something I want to share. I found out, I can't remember names. Okay?
I have the same problem, so I feel
Here's the good news. Okay? I found out that my personality type is a certain personality type that's usually empathetic, sympathetic and then also too visionary and sees people in a different light. And so the name is the least important piece of the puzzle in their mind. So they remember things, or they try to draw and they see the person. So I can remember everything about that person, what they said, who they were, where they work, what they were wearing, and things like that. So I felt a lot better about that, because it's hard to remember 800 to 1,000 names. So if I forget a name, I'm sorry. I know a lot about you. But man, you are a big blessing.
Thank you.
And I'm so thankful that you took the risk to come and to be so vulnerable and so honest and so giving. And I think the world needs more Marissas. Maybe we should make a bumper sticker. No? Any parting words for someone out there?
No, not really.
I think you said it all. Kathy, any questions, anything?
I think we covered it. I think that we just need to make more of you. Or have you like speak into the lives of others. I don't know. There's like you look at that messy house that you know, your upbringing, and something was done right. You know what I mean? Like in those first years of Florida, they raised a strong girl, and that's props to parents, because some parents try to change their children to society. And I praise your parents that they loved you for, you know, maybe they pushed and, you know, tried to set you up with church members or whatever. But I think they did a really good job instilling confidence in you, and directing your eyes to God.
I think so.
At a
I
young
agree.
age. And I think that's carried you, and I'm thankful for that. So
Testimony to many. You know what? Kathy, can you pray for this young lady?
Of course. Dear Father, we just come to you so thankful for this opportunity that we just got to hear Marissa's testimony, and that she was vulnerable and open. And it sounds easy when we're turning on the podcast as a listener, but sitting here with the microphone on and the headphones on, it racks your nerves. And she came and she was so open and honest, and I just thank you, God, for the women you knit together, fearfully and wonderfully made, and the gifts you've given her, the strengths you've given her, the community that you've drawn her in, and the support that you have aligned for her all throughout her life, that she can feel connected, safe, and surrounded, and the fact that she relies on you solely as her everything. You know, when you have a spouse, it's a helpmate, and good or bad, they're there with you day in and day out. But she goes home and doesn't have that spouse or helpmate, but she doesn't need it because she has you. And that is a beautiful testimony to your love, your faithfulness, and your strength, God. So continue to pour your peace over Marissa and guide and direct her down the right path. And thank you for creating such an amazing woman. And thank you for the movement that you've done in her life and that you still are doing in her life. We are blessed by her, and we know that you are blessed even more by her. Amen.
Amen. Marissa, thank you.
You're welcome.
Super cool. Super cool. All right. Thank you, Kathy,
Thanks
for joining
having
me
me
today. And it was a pleasure. And I really hope this gets out. And for the listener, man, God's got something to say about you, and you need to listen to it. So, man, thank you.
You're welcome.